And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Fun Friday. We haven't done Fun Friday in quite a while here.
It's been a minute.
Recording on a Thursday night for release on Friday. Best day of the week. Unbelievable.
Yeah, 10:30 at night.
10:30 at night. Yeah, Jack, great loyalty to the show tonight. He was out. Then you forgot, right? You forgot we were recording.
We were recording, yes.
We had a recording scheduled for earlier, and Jack forgot. And where you were at Cornerstone?
Oh, yeah, I was grabbing a bite to eat, a couple beers.
Were you out to eat though, or that's what I like? You were at the bar, right?
Yeah,
it was a bar scene.
but it was like a restaurant.
Oh, so
there's only Friday it's a bar scene, but it was actually just like sitting down and eating.
Oh, so they didn't have there was no dance floor or anything up there?
No. Thursday night is just
okay.
out to eat.
For context, we go to this place to go meet women, which never.
Well, no, that's Friday or Saturday, but Thursday is just it's casual.
Okay.
So when you texted me, go kiss a girl and see you there. I don't know what you're talking about.
I figured that would get you rallied to come over.
If there were girls there, I would not here.
Well, that was originally why I was so impressed that you showed up, because I thought it was a bar scene.
Oh, it was a bar scene. I'm not sitting here right now.
Well, no. That clarifies a couple things for me. But anyway, great loyalty from Jack showing up tonight, despite being out at the bar.
Yeah, whenever Zach texts, oh, sorry, I'm working late tonight. Can we reschedule? Yeah, sure. But see, when I text, sorry, I forgot it was your schedule. No, Jack, need you here. Get here. Fine. I'm here.
At least you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
It is my house.
And he is happy to be here.
It's not your house. Your house is in Allendale. But I'm happy to be here.
And he is happy to be here.
I digress. I'm happy to be here.
We said it's good to get the rant out of the way.
I like recording. I had the rant, but I'm happy I'm here.
The airing of the grievances. Yeah, you have to get it out of the way.
It was a great rant. I loved it.
Look, by the time that this show eventually takes off, we'll look back on these nights and we'll miss them.
Look, I got class at 11, so I don't really care.
Yeah. And it's Friday.
I just got a Hinge notification.
All is well.
Apparently
your Hinge is doing well, right?
That's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. I'm not super active on Hinge, really. I'm not that active on it.
You're not like Zach?
Well, no, Zach's a newcomer, so he's going to be more so than I. I've had it for a bit. I kind of hate it at the moment. I might delete it soon, but...
Oh, wow. Hate it. Wow.
Yeah, not a huge fan.
After Quinn's party?
After Quinn's party? Maybe. Well, there you go. That's how our night has started off tonight. Paul Farrington, joined by Jack, Zach Bloomquist, best executive producer, and Robert Ziggy Ziegler from the University of Virginia. He joins us as always. Andrew had a big baseball win today, but now he's exhausted under his covers. So.
6-0.
6-0.
There's no longer whispers. There's talks.
Apparently, there was a great story, and hopefully we can hear it Sunday, that as Andrew was up 9-0 in the third inning, I believe, second inning.
Second. They were still stealing. Here's the thing. A little backstory for a second. I'll take 30 seconds. Andrew's team was stealing up 9-0 second inning, and the other coach got pissed that they were still stealing bases, up by 10 runs. But I think it's more, growing up playing baseball myself, I think it's more disrespectful to stop playing the game when you got a big lead. Like when there's a pass ball and you're not stealing, I think it's more disrespectful than continuing to play the game how it should be played.
It's interesting. I think that in the second inning, 9-0, especially at that level.
Like if a ball gets past the catcher and you're on first base, go to second base.
You got to go. There is a certain point. If you're up 20-0 in the fifth inning, I get it. But 9-0 in the second, you could score 7 runs in freshman baseball.
Like if it's 9-0, it can be 9-6 in the next inning. Yeah.
I think it's fine at that score in that time of the game.
So apparently he got a little heated.
Apparently someone called him a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or muttered. Maybe muttered.
Then they won 16-0, so.
Oh, that fired up Andrew.
Fire him up.
This is what I just don't get. Is does the other team give up? Once they're down 10-0, do they stop playing?
Yeah, at that level, it breaks your spirits.
Well, Jack said this team was also quite bad.
They were very bad, but when you're down 10-0 in a baseball game, your spirits
But freshman baseball, you can come back. Like, you can. I know that team wasn't good, but if you bat in 4 runs in the bottom of the second, it's 9-4.
Yeah.
So that's why true. I think it's fine. But you never know.
Those comebacks, even at that level, are less often than you think they would be.
Got it. We had a really interesting...
One question, though. Who loses first? Andrew or Tampa Bay race?
Wow.
Tampa Bay. They'll lose in Toronto soon.
I'm just saying this. Make this an Instagram poll.
What are they, 12-0 or 13-0?
13.
They won again today. Jeez.
Tied for the best start in the history of the league.
I remember I was just checking the Yankees score a couple days ago, and at the beginning of the season I'm in and out with the Yankees. I'm understanding what's going on, but not sitting down for every game. I just went to the standings just to see what was going on. It's 8-0, 9-0, 10-0 every single day. It's like, this is absurd. At some point they have to. Are they that good? Or are they just red hot?
They look awesome. Pirates on 5-zip. They look awesome, but I will say they've played nobody.
Okay.
Boston's terrible.
Yeah.
The Pirates swept them.
Still impressive.
Very impressive,
Yeah.
but they played nobody.
They're great, but starting 13-0 is
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the
just-
the
it doesn't
Dodgers
happen.
are a great team, but even they drop a couple
it's,
games.
it's the best start since the 1930s.
What's the record? Is it the
It's
Moneyball
13.
one?
They
still?
tied it.
No,
They
no.
tied it.
What's the record for wins in a row? Is it still the Moneyball 21 or something like that for the A's?
Could be. I think it's either the age of the Mariners or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are we counting 1916?
No.
Then it's that 2017 Guardians run.
How many was
22
that?
games.
22.
Wow.
They could threaten it.
I mean,
They're a long ways away from threatening.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Toronto now is tough. They'll lose a game there, but you never know.
Imagine they just go like 150-12,
162-0.
162-0.
Never been done.
Lost some coin on the Yankees tonight. Those stupid
Yeah, that was
Yankees
bad.
losing
That was
11-1.
bad.
Did the Rays collapse? They had this great start and then collapse.
No,
No, the
they'll
Rays
be
are very good.
They're a good
The
team.
Rays are very good.
They might win the division. Yeah. So we had a really interesting conversation earlier today, and Ziggy brought it up in our group chat. There's this thing called the S2 cognition test. And basically, if you've never heard of it, and Ziggy's rolling his eyes already.
I'm so tired of hearing about
Hey,
this.
hey, hold on. A lot of people probably don't know what this is.
No, I know.
What it does is it'll tell you how quickly and accurately players can process information. Basically, how quickly they can make split-second decisions, how accurately they can do that.
Doesn't test that.
Well, that's what it tells you. The test is 40 to 45 minutes long. It's on a gaming laptop, and you have this pad, a response pad, that can track you up to 2 milliseconds, your response time, which I think is pretty unbelievable. And an example of a type of question they might ask, an example of what they might test is they'll have a diamond flash on the screen for 16 milliseconds, and one of the corners will be flat. And you need to be able to tell, okay, which side was it using the arrow keys.
Okay.
So it's tests like that. They'll flash a bunch of different shapes on the board, and you have to pick the right one as quickly as you can. So it's cool. And baseball players generally do very well with this. And I think that's understandable. Just their reaction time to pitches is crazy.
It's fantastic hand-eye coordination.
And when you see when they're able to tell the difference between a fastball and a curveball that quickly, that always boggled my mind.
You see in that split second.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. But the point aside, the highest rated quarterback last year for the rookies, Jack, just take a guess.
The highest rated quarterback in this test.
In this cognition test, yes, the S2 test.
What's the highest score possible, you said?
I don't know. Maybe it's 100 or something like that. That's what I think.
It's 100 because they're just giving percentiles.
Okay, so the highest score amongst rookies.
Rookie quarterbacks.
Rookie quarterbacks. 67 out of 100?
Brock Purdy. He scored in the 90s. It was Brock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is untrue, by the way.
What do
It's
you mean?
being reported the highest score was actually Skylar Thompson.
Okay,
My
well,
boy.
Brock was in the 90s, right?
Boy, Skyler.
Brock was
Yeah,
in the 90s?
Probably.
Oh,
So this is part of
67
the
was a
problem is
horrible guess.
they won't open the books.
Well, no, it's yeah. Well, actually, last year's rookie class was the worst scoring ever with Purdy and Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett. This year's has been the best ever so far. But other quarterbacks who score in that 90 range, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow was in the 97th percentile. And the reports came out that I believe 80th percentile and better is considered elite.
by the creators of the
By the
test.
creators, yes.
Well, you know how they decide that that's what elite is they go and but they're working just with passer rating.
Sure. Yeah. So with the passer rating of the 27 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the NFL who were tested, 13 of them have a career passer rating over 90. And I believe that all of those people scored in the 91st percentile on this test. And the 14 quarterbacks who didn't, their average score was a 60, which I don't know what percentile. But anyway, it does seem to show that a lot of times for this test, and I understand that the article that we're referring to here, it was an interview with the creators of the test, so of course they're going to
The head of marketing.
Yeah, of course they're going to talk about it in a favorable light. But it's very interesting to me to see just the correlation here. Now, with all of that just said, the highest score of any quarterback this year, Bryce Young.
Oh, so it's a totally flawed. This is a totally flawed, stupid test. Then
So Bryce Young has the highest score on the S2 test.
I was starting to
of
believe
anyone in college.
I was starting to believe like, oh, that sounds like it's legit until you said
Yeah,
that.
you know who did the worst of the big four is CJ Stroud. He apparently had a bad score.
Oh,
Did he have Will Levis? I heard did well as well.
This means
So did
nothing.
Richardson.
How
But
did
look,
what about Hooker?
here's not reported because here's the thing, right? This data is not public, and S2 is very cagey about releasing it. So it's only come out in tiny drips how people have scored, and they've only talked about the good cases publicly. Right, like they won't open the book. So I worry with this test. There are reports that like David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, is like really interested in this and wants his GMs to factor it in. I worry, it hasn't been a lot of years, that there's not much signal here and a whole lot of noise.
I don't know. It seems like they've been doing it for a long time now, right?
They've been doing it for 7 years.
Well, now they've really started to ramp it up, right?
Yeah, so they've been doing it with some number of quarterbacks over the past 7 years. But again, so like they're reporting the results by saying, look at all these good quarterbacks that had high results,
yes.
right?
So the concern is, of course, you can have some good quarterbacks who had bad scores they're not reporting, some bad quarterbacks who had good scores. I will say, though, it is interesting to me, and it gets my attention when I see that a lot of the superstars in the league have scored very well. And it makes sense. You gotta think that they'd have,
Yeah. Of course.
But it's not even clear this.
Of course.
It's not even clear this test is testing processing speed. It's not clear.
Why would you say that?
Like, here is what it is testing. It is directly testing your ability to recognize shapes that appear for about 15 milliseconds. Now, they say that this correlates with processing speed, and this is a proxy for measuring it. But that's not obvious to me. It's not obvious to me that knowing which side of a diamond is missing within 15 milliseconds, which, by the way, like our best empirical evidence that's like actually peer reviewed and actually done by scientists suggests like shouldn't be possible. It's not clear to me that that's what determines whether you're a good NFL quarterback, how quickly you can recognize the missing side of a diamond.
A lot of these, I'm sure there's a lot of good quarterbacks right now in the NFL who didn't necessarily do great on this test.
Probably, but apparently of
not-
13 of the 27 scored very well.
Well, but they pick
measuring-
passer rating, which isn't even a good stat.
Yeah, that is true. But I will say
You have to
it's not
wonder why
measuring
they didn't
arm
pick a better
strength.
one.
Or physical build, or it's
oh yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of factors here, but it's not a bad thing to be good at. It's
Of course not. Yeah,
of course it's
yeah,
good.
of course.
But
It's just-
I look
yeah, I
at
mean,
Bryce
it's-
Young, and I kind of see that when he plays a little bit. Some of the tests are for spatial awareness
I'm
and
sure
things like that.
Bryce sounds like a smart with it guy, but he just stinks at football.
Well, no. You just don't like his size, right? That's you think he's gonna get hurt.
I think he's gonna get murdered like Kyler Murray. And
Yeah,
stink,
but I think when I watch him play, and I remember the Texas game when they were driving late to take the lead. Remember the spin out? Like I see plays like that from him a lot, where he just almost has that sixth sense and is able to make a play with his legs. A lot of times, I feel like when the game's on the line and he makes it throw on the money.
Yeah, we'll see that for sure. But the Bryce Young that I think we'll see the majority of the time is the 3 points against Auburn. Bryce Young.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I wish on different sides.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I found it very, very, very interesting seeing all those quarterbacks score. We'll have to see as time goes on with it. But
I'll tell you what I think is in baseball, this test has had a very slow adaptation. Like GMs and front offices are just largely not interested in the results. I worry that what you get in football is every year it seems like there's some new metric that comes out that everyone freaks out over. I wonder if this is just going to be another one of those things. And the fact that Brock Purdy did well on it and was a hit is like the best marketing these guys could have possibly asked for, right?
That's
like,
what brought it up, right? Yeah. That's what made it. Like it was like a month ago that this article was written,
like,
and then
if he had never, if the Niners didn't have those injuries, right? He never came in. Is this talked about?
I mean, I'm sure the test would still be brought up, but not when the Athletic guy wrote about it. Yeah, Brock Purdy was the golden boy.
So you just have to wonder, like, again, we're talking 28 starting quarterbacks have taken this test, right? 28 guys that have started a season in the NFL. It's just not clear to me that's enough to make judgments about how good the test is. And, people say it's better than nothing. Like, so is 3-cone. I'd rather have a guy who is a good 3-cone than not. But, like, are you going to make quarterback decisions based on the 3-cone drill result? No.
Not at this point. But I do think it's something to keep keep in mind.
Yeah.
And you do see it translate to Bryce Young's play.
I mean, if Bryce Young comes out and leads the Texans like the playoffs, then
You're all in.
Yeah, I'm all So I mean, this test is like
the next year you're just going to be looking at the test and nothing else.
Yes.
Don't show up to the combine.
Yes, it's just a test.
So Daniel Jeremiah is the guy who leaked that Bryce Young scored the highest out of anyone else. I saw something. Todd McShay said that, and you'll align with him here. He said that scouts are scared to death of drafting Bryce because of the size. So that still does seem to be
I would be too.
huge factor. I think he's going to the Panthers right now. I'd be very surprised if he does not go 1 to Carolina.
Hey, if he goes 1 to Carolina, then Caleb Williams to the Texans.
So
Bryce Young, he does have those flashes of
really good
of greatness, yeah. Where he sees his reads, he makes good throws. He knows who's open and who's not.
Maybe you'll come around on him.
He's very good at that.
Ziggy,
there's a chance I will, but right now I'm not on board.
Ziggy, I heard that right there, that Caleb Williams to the Texans, and it's a great transition into the next topic, which is Adam Schefter on Tuesday came on to NFL Live, and this is his exact quote. I think there's a lot of conflicting signals and information out there about what Houston's going to do at 2. I think a lot of people assume that's just going to be a quarterback. And in the end, I'm just not convinced just yet that is going to be the case.
No, you can get a quarterback late. I'm taking Will Anderson.
You would really take Will Anderson?
Yeah, I'm taking defense.
Over Stroud or if Bryce is there?
I'm taking defense. You go ahead, Ziggy.
No, absolutely take defense. Look, you just brought in a defensive head coach, and it's a guy who's on a 6-year deal, right? I think it's 5 or 6 years. He's going to be there a while. He is under zero pressure to win this year. So if you can sell, like I think Will Anderson is the best prospect in this draft, and he plays a premium position.
I'd agree.
So you're talking about the best prospect at a highly valuable position with a coach who can really use him, right? We know that 49ers defense, the most important thing is having powerful defensive linemen. Like you bring him in, you have him do his thing. If you're not getting the best quarterback in this draft and you're not sold on any of those other guys, why reach for a quarterback? You've got tons of draft capital. You take 2 excellent non-quarterbacks, get yourself an elite corner and elite defensive lineman, and go at it next year.
They have the 2 picks. At 2, Will Anderson is great. Jalen Carter is great. Tyree Wilson, he's great. But I'm not rolling out Davis Mills again. And I'm not going to roll out Case Keenum. It's time to get serious in Houston.
Yeah, but I think a lot of these potential first-round QBs are all 50-50 question marks.
Maybe, but you got to have some balls and draft a quarterback at some point.
You have to. Not right now. Why right now?
Because you can't bank on sucking this year and having Caleb Williams fall into your lap or Drake May. You never know how it's going to fall during the regular season.
You do. If you go 1-15, you'll get
1-15, sure, but what if they go 6-11? And they have the 8th pick in the draft, and they're stuck in another spot.
They ruined it this year for themselves. They had the number 1.
They did ruin it, but C.J. Stroud is a highly touted prospect. Bryce Young is a highly touted prospect. Either the two of them.
So was Tim Tebow.
No, but not like this. Not like this. Tebow is in the 20s. Stroud and Bryce Young are both very, very good quarterbacks. And if you pass up on them, and let's just say next year you don't have a top 2 pick, what are you gonna do?
It starts with you got to build your defense. It's defense.
Where's the quarterback?
You can get a quarterback. What are you gonna do next year?
You're gonna take pick.
What are you going to do next year? You're going to take the 3rd or 4th best quarterback who's probably as good as the 2nd or 3rd quarterback this year.
Who's the 3rd or 4th next year?
Who knows?
No, but you can't just throw out that and say
there's going to be someone. There's always someone, right? Who thought that was Will Williams?
Yeah, Dak was a 4th-round pick. Purdy was a 6th-round pick. Pickett was 20. Purdy's better than Pickett. You can get a quarterback late.
But but that's much more of a dark.
No, if you're so scared, trade down from 12 and take Hendon Hooker. Right, you've got plenty of options you can do.
I'm taking the best defender in the draft, hands down.
I want to do Hooker, and it's not like I think Will Anderson's going to be very good, but we've seen guys come in. I remember Aaron Curry. This is a long time ago. Seahawks. This Aaron Curry was supposed to be a stud linebacker, and he flamed out. He never lived up to the hype. Like this happens. I just look at Houston, and if I'm a Texans fan, I can't roll out Davis Mills again. I need some hope. And C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young is going to be sitting right there.
All right, but you take Young or Stroud, you still have no defense and no line.
Yeah, you got to build.
They're getting marked.
They're not going to be good.
I'm taking the best defender in the draft.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a quarterback later next year.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
I just can't pass on a top 2 quarterback. It's really, I don't understand why Stroud and Bryce Young are taking so many hits right now.
There'll be a 4th round Dak. There'll be a 4th round
there will,
Dak.
but it's hard to nail that pick. I remember last season when it was Pickett and when it was Malik Willis and all those guys, everyone was saying, oh, if only it was next year when we have a chance at Young or Stroud. And now we've finally gotten there, and all of a sudden people are starting to fall back and like, maybe next year if it's Caleb Williams or Drake May. I'm just not sure where all of the reservations have come from. We knew that Bryce Young was small. We knew that C.J. Stroud didn't run a lot in games. Did either of you guys have any?
I mean, I've always hated Bryce Young. I don't.
I don't understand why you have a weird.
I always thought Bryce Young was going to be an NFL bust. I've never was a fan of him, not once.
No, I know.
I mean, if Ziggy was a fan, not anymore. It's more of a question for him. But I was not on Bryce Young ever.
So I'm a fan of Bryce Young. If Young's available, take him. The thing that surprised me isn't it's not that CJ Stroud fell down. It's that Will Anderson put together an incredible season.
Okay.
And it's the fact that the Texans are in a position where they have a coach who is being brought in to implement a system that requires elite defensive linemen. Like, why are you hiring this guy? You could have hired all sorts of offensive-minded coaches. You hired a defensive-minded coach, and you're going to force him into taking a rookie quarterback just so the fans have some hope?
It's not just for the fans. It's because C.J. Stroud could be a very good quarterback. Or what about your boy Anthony Richardson? The number one or bust. Why would you not take Richardson at 2?
Because I don't think they have the coaches that can develop him.
Okay. Well, you think Carolina does?
I think Frank Reich is really good at developing quarterbacks.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Seattle would also be a good spot for Richardson, but I'm not passing up on a high prospect like CJ Stroud. I'm assuming it's going to be Stroud too.
I'd go defense. I'd go defense.
And I can't blame it too much, but I really do think that would be a mistake. But there. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. So Schefter says he's not convinced either. So we'll see. Draft nights, the first 5-6 picks this year, really even top 10, like a lot of great question marks.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
There's only one thing is it's not going to be quarterback. People are talking like it might be.
No,
this has never happened.
Levis
There's a reason.
I see Levis fall.
He won't be a top 4 pick, I don't think.
Any one of them could fall, right?
Yeah.
Except probably Bryce Young. You just never know what. Like, there's so much smoke at this point, and there's so much media coverage. These NFL guys just view things differently than us. Remember when people seriously thought Malik Willis might be going top 3 last year?
Yeah. And what was he, third round?
Yeah, he was 3rd round.
Yeah, like late 3rd. Every team in the NFL passed on him twice.
My guess right now.
Oh, I was also flamed last year saying he's going to stink. He'll fall.
No one else agreed.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go back and find that tape.
I was torn up.
Was a rookie last year?
Yeah.
Really? I thought he's been in the, 2 years now.
Last year was his rookie year.
I said this guy is terrible. He's on a 1st round. Everyone's like, oh, he's top 10. No, he's not. He stinks. Send him by Bryce Young. He should fall.
Right now,
let's run it back.
Right now, I'm seeing Young and Stroud 1-2. I believe it'll go Young Stroud. Richardson, I can see him going by 5. I think he'll be a top 10 pick for sure. And Levis, I think Levis falls out of the top 10.
I would agree, yeah.
Does that sound about right? Levis, would you agree with that, Ziggy?
I wonder if Richardson could fall too.
He could. My guess right now is probably by 6 or 7 he's gone.
I wouldn't be surprised to see only 2 quarterbacks go in the top 10.
Neither would I.
Yeah, so we'll see. And then Hendon Hooker is just, we talked about him a couple days ago. He's just floating right now.
Oh, that deep ball accuracy.
I thought he kind of struggled on the deep ball.
Like nobody else. Him to Hyatt all year, they torch people.
Yeah, no, he had a great season. So a lot. Like, again, we said go check out this Tuesday's episode.
Oh, he's my guy.
As we were talking about Hendon Hooker, some Vikings rumors there. Good spot for him. We'll see where he goes. Tampa Bay, maybe. A lot of places Hendon Hooker could wind up.
Oh, the biggest game of his life to go to the playoff. He lost 70-10.
He got hurt though, right? Didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it was over.
I remember, Ziggy, do you remember that game, the Tennessee,
they were
South Carolina?
30 anyway.
Disaster.
So you all know we have a friend, Tommy. He bet on the under in that game. We had a big parlay as a friend group, and his particular pick was the under. I placed
that bet for you, I think.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah,
so Tommy had the under for us, and I remember checking the score maybe like 10 minutes into the game, or in middle of the second quarter, I was like, holy crap, it's 35-28. Yeah. And the over-under was something like 70.5. And we're like, all right, we just got to go the rest of the game without allowing a point here. It was 70-56, right? Something like that.
I think it was worse. Wasn't
It was absurd. Spencer Rattler looked like he was supposed to.
70 to like 40. I remember.
Tennessee scored a lot too.
Was it 40? I thought it was worse. I remember I had Carolina plus 21.5. I remember saying like, if I had taken Carolina minus 20, I might have hit.
you would not be here right now. You'd be on an island.
Yeah, I'd be somewhere.
Okay, so maybe next week I kind of want to talk about what's going to happen with the third pick. The Cardinals, no one's really talking about that there. People could trade up. They could trade up. They could grab a defender. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to talk about that maybe next week. But and speaking of things we haven't spoken about much this offseason, we say a lot about the AFC and how good it's going to be. We have the real Jack from the other day where you're listing off teams. You're going the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Bills, the Chiefs. And Zach, you're Miami Dolphins.
Jets, Rodgers, Dolphins,
Jets,
healthy,
Rodgers.
Jaguars now.
We haven't said anything about the Dolphins, who they're having a quiet offseason, but have made a couple really nice moves. They bring in Vic Fangio. They probably have one of the best coaching staffs in the league at the moment. Go get Jalen Ramsey. You pair him with Xavier Howard, who a lot of people are hoping has a better season than he had this previous year.
Not the biggest move.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The biggest move was the NFLPA approving a concussion-resistant helmet for quarterbacks.
Though they need that, but
no, look, the sky's the limit for this team if Tua can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right? He was, by the numbers, one of the best quarterbacks. Their offense was insane. The defense should improve.
No, I
but
totally
the reason
agree.
they're not getting attention is just because I don't think anyone believes Tua's playing 17 games next year.
It's hard to at the moment. Everyone has the image in their head of him on the ground in Cincinnati with his fingers.
I mean, they went into Buffalo in the playoffs in like negative temperatures. Was it double-digit lead?
They were
6-point lead?
I think I thought they were
7-point lead.
Were they at 14 at one point or 13?
12-point lead?
It was double digits.
Yeah, they had a double-digit lead.
Double-digit on the road without Tua playing.
With our third-string quarterback, without Teddy Bridgewater
with
playing.
Skylar Thompson, the college quarterback playing.
No, that team. When you look at that team, just from comparing roster by roster, if you remove the quarterbacks, and I know that it's a big ask, but if you remove the quarterbacks, that roster is as good as anyone in the league.
Oh,
and it's better than anyone in the league.
Yeah, we saw it last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the D line here: Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. That team, and then the offense. We all know Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. It goes very deep. So if Tua comes in and plays anything like he did last year, they were 8-1 the first 9 games with him. Only game they lost that he started was when he got hurt against Cincinnati, and he didn't play most of the game.
Yeah, as you say, Tua's not some scrub, right? We're not talking about putting Zach Wilson on a loaded Jets team.
No, he's
certainly a top 10 quarterback. He has games where he looks like a top 5 quarterback or better. Obviously the weapons help him out, but he knows how to take care of business. You just wonder.
Here's what I wanted to show you guys real quick. A quick blind resume. I've seen my boss, Colin Coward, do this a few times. Tua's numbers, okay? I'm going to compare him to some four random quarterbacks here. So Tua last year.
Random quarterbacks?
No, not random, but I chose them. Yes. 4 quarterbacks. 13 games. Tua had 64.8% completion percentage, 270 yards, 273 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay?
Okay.
Quarterback 1, 68.2% completion percentage, 278.8 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So almost identical in every category.
I'd probably.
Do you actually have a guess for this? This would be unbelievably impressive.
I'm gonna go. I'd probably go with the little bit higher the completion percentage. So I'd probably take the other option.
Mm-hmm.
I guess who it is.
So I'll tell you, it's 7. He played all 17 games. That's Justin Herbert right there. Someone who, whenever he comes up, people talk about him. When you're mentioning the new faces of the league, he's one of the first 3-4 guys you say probably. So that's Herbert.
One increasingly wonders why Justin Herbert's making those lists, though.
Yes, I will say, as time has gone on, those questions are growing. I'm not there yet to really question it.
I'm not saying you have to become a truther or a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to wonder.
Doubt is starting to creep in, but he's still got it. He's still got so many of the. He's unbelievable.
Okay.
You got Justin Herbert, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
That's real
he's Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler.
Yeah, that's not Hill and Waddle. A banged up Keenan Allen's hurdle 24/7 is not.
I agree with you. I think Herbert's amazing, but the question is starting to come up. That's all.
It is, yeah.
You have to admit he has to do something next year.
He's the new
They need, yeah. Look, they were on their way. If they beat Jacksonville and go into the divisional round, who knows how we're talking about the Chargers this offseason.
It's also so tough, pretty much being guaranteed at the best to be the 5 or the 6 seed every year.
They just got it.
He's not guaranteed anything. How about he wins some games?
Ziggy says just win a game, beat the Chiefs, beat Mahomes.
They can't. Nobody can. Nobody can.
It's hard to do.
You can't.
If you're a face of the league like Joe Burrow, you can beat the Chiefs. Why can't he do it? Why does no one ever expect Justin Herbert to put up a competition? If he's supposed to be one of the 3 best quarterbacks, 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
When it comes to the division, win the division.
Oh no, Ziggy, I do expect him. I think he should expect to win the division. That Chargers team is not bad. No one thinks that they'll beat the Chiefs, but within the Chargers organization, they need to be thinking we can win this division. It's not if anyone's going in there saying like the Chiefs are that much better, that's because they're just not. Like the Chiefs are very, very good, but they're not that much better than the Chargers. They just always find a way. All right.
Can I have a hot take?
Yeah, what's your hot take?
Justin Herbert's the new Phillip Rivers. It's the hot take. Oh, he's good enough to make it to the playoffs, never good enough to make it farther.
That's not true. Phillip Rivers won the division like 5 times in 6 years.
I said playoffs, Ziggy. I didn't say.
No, I'm just saying like.
I said can make the playoffs.
No. You didn't say anything wrong. I'm just saying.
Rivers' numbers. I just remember he was
Rivers'
amazing.
numbers is like top 7 all time on most things.
Herbert might have more natural ability than Rivers, but Rivers, they had a couple teams that had a real shot.
Yeah.
The last time the Chiefs lost the division, this is all I'm saying. Every year in this division, you hear offseason hype about how it's going to be some other team winning the division and not the Chiefs. And the last time, the last quarterback not on the Chiefs to win that division was Peyton Manning.
Oh my gosh.
So they've won every year since 2015.
Sheesh.
And they've dominated. They've dominated.
That's Patriots level success.
Well, what? They've been to 5 straight AFC Championship games, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's amazing.
That's very tough being Justin Herbert playing in that division.
But again, you're up 27-0 to the Jaguars. You got to win that game.
Of course, but your defense is partially to blame on that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You're up by 28 points.
You got to close the door.
And then
win some games.
You got to close the door. All right, here's the second quarterback. So Tua, again, 64.8% completion percentage, 273 yards per game. 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Quarterback 2, 63.3 completion percentage, a little lower than Tua. 267.7 yards per game, a little lower than Tua. 35 touchdowns, 10 more, and 14 interceptions, 6 more interceptions. Now, he played 3 more games, but this guy, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions there. So, fairly comparable again.
Yeah, it's comparable.
Is that Josh Allen?
That's Josh Allen. So, Tua's numbers now, kind of like not that far off from Herbert. I mean, better than Herbert in a lot of categories and better than Allen in some here. So Allen has a little bit more explosion. But remember, Tua played 3 less games. So maybe Tua's probably sitting at, 35 touchdowns if he plays 3 or 4 more games?
I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, Josh Allen's also a one-man rushing offense.
He is, yes. You have to factor in his rushing.
I don't think many people will be saying, oh, Tua's not I think more of his concern is the injury.
People think
he's a good quarterback.
People think he's a good quarterback, but they don't think he's elite.
I mean,
that's fair,
right? And I mean, I probably even fall into that.
But also, I mean, after what I would say though is after last season, people are starting to wonder if Herbert and Allen are elite.
You are seeing there are also coming up.
There are many people who will tell you there are 3 elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now: Mahomes, Burrow, and Hurts.
I mean, Tua played awesome when he was healthy, which wasn't that often, and he was throwing slants to the 2 fastest receivers in the league.
On the money. Do you remember before the San Francisco game? And I know that you guys got destroyed in that, Zach. But before that game, the big question was who's going to win? Is it the Dolphins or the 49ers in the middle of the field? Because 49ers defense controls the middle. Okay. And Tua was just absolutely phenomenal on. I think it was his 3-step drop. Right to the middle, right on target to Tyreek and Jalen.
I think most QBs the situation.
But he was at an absurd rate.
People are saying that like Tua did this throwing slants. Among quarterbacks who attempted more than 100 passes last year, no one had average air yards more than Tua. Literally no one.
I'm trying to say
He
that
threw deeper passes than any quarterback in the league.
we saw Tua play awesome for about half the season when he had 2 superstar receivers.
But that's your whole argument.
I know it is, but I want to see him stay healthy.
Yes,
and
that's
continue to do so before we say, "Oh, this man is elite."
Sure, but here's one more quarterback. Okay, last one. Do you want me to say Tua's stats one more time? You want to hear him one more?
Sure, yeah.
He was 64.8% completion, 273 yards per game, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. This guy played in all 17 games now. 66.3% completion, 2 less than Tua. 242 yards per game, 30-something yards less than Tua. 25 touchdowns, matching him, and 8 interceptions, matching him.
And played in all
the games.
Aaron Rodgers.
So he had Aaron Rodgers was the other guy I was going to say, who would have been the fourth guy here. But no, Trevor Lawrence. Who everyone is buying stock in right now.
I mean, people are buying Trevor Lawrence because of the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not super high on Trevor Lawrence myself.
Well, Ziggy, you're very high on him, right?
I'm high, but people aren't high on him because of the stats he put up in the regular season.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's another guy. These 3 guys I've said are all in that top 5, and Tua is a young guy who has the best weapons out of anyone. So you have to factor that in.
Well, here's the thing. I think if Tua plays an entire season healthy and puts up like Trevor Lawrence did, people are saying, "Oh yeah, he's up there with Trevor Lawrence for sure." I think it's the injury problem. That's what I think.
So you think Tua and Trevor, if they're both healthy?
Yeah, I think people are talking about Tua like Trevor Lawrence. No, but 100%.
You think that Tua is as good as Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. People are high on...
I think a lot of people would disagree with that.
I mean, but here's the thing. Lawrence. It doesn't matter, right? There's all of this talk about who's better than who. What matters is your production. At a certain point, what matters is the numbers you're able to put up in your situation. And the fact is, when Tua is playing, he's putting up elite stats.
Top 10
So,
numbers.
like, do we really care how good he is in a vacuum if you put him on, like, the NFL average roster? No. Because he fits on what the Dolphins want to do. He can take care of business.
Of I was getting frustrated seeing these articles. I was reading... Just in getting ready for the show, I look in the comment section just to see what the fans are saying as well. And a lot of people are just saying, oh, if he wasn't in McDaniel's system, which is designed specifically for him, of course it's designed for him.
Yeah,
he's the quarterback of the Dolphins.
Yes.
Obviously, you're going to set up the system for him. And he's very, very good in that system. So I'm with you. I just couldn't understand what people were saying.
I'm just saying there's Trevor Lawrence hype, right? Because he had a decent regular season, won the division, won a playoff game. I think if Tua is healthy all year, puts up his numbers that he did when he was playing, wins the playoff game, which he probably could have, he's up there with that same hype as Trevor Lawrence.
You think that you're mentioning his name right next to those guys that you're mentioning with Lawrence?
Yes, I think there's hype with Tua and all those other guys if he's healthy. I think the main problem is the injury. That 1,000%.
If he's healthy, are the Dolphins a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question. Look, I
agree.
All they need is a slightly above average defense, and I am highly confident Fangio can step in and give them that.
Where do you think they would rank?
But I think without him, no.
Oh, no, of course not without him.
Mike White stinks.
Which does show his importance. But
like, let's give him vibranium bones.
If he plays the full season, let's say I'm gonna grant Tua's wish. He's not getting a concussion. The jiu-jitsu works, whatever.
Another problem is he gets one more concussion, he's probably dead on the field.
That is. Everyone's talking about how he's not more likely to get another concussion. It's like that's not the problem. The problem is if he gets another concussion, what happens?
But he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So he doesn't get hurt.
Go back to the height problem.
It's so easy. It's so easy how we get distracted. He doesn't get hurt. Where do the Dolphins rank among the contenders? I'm assuming they're behind the Chiefs. I'll rattle off a couple teams. You guys just give me yes or no. Chargers
behind. Without Tua, behind.
No, with Tua. That was the point.
With Tua, ahead.
Okay.
Easily ahead.
Jets with Rodgers.
Ahead.
Probably ahead.
Ravens. Lamar.
Yeah, ahead of the Jets. Ahead of the Ravens.
Bengals.
Behind.
Tied.
Slightly behind.
Jaguars.
Ahead.
I'm
assuming behind the Chiefs.
Yeah. Of course.
Am I forgetting anyone of real note there?
Steelers behind.
Steelers.
You mean the AFC?
Yeah.
No, they're my number 2 team.
Bills.
In the AFC
What about the
they're
Bills?
Healthy. Ahead.
That's close. That's a toss-up for me.
I think this Bills team is going to regress next year.
Bills seem to be fading a bit. is remember how untouchable they seemed to start of the season. Then old Kirk Cousins goes in there and throws a few haymakers. Next thing you know,
ended their season. You know that.
No.
That game.
that was a morale breaker right
That
there.
also
No,
brings
what?
up the Brian Dable question: is Dable the mastermind behind?
Yeah,
Josh Allen?
that's another thing that people are talking about.
Look,
We'll see what happens.
cards on the table. If you can guarantee me Tua's healthy, he might have the occasional bump and bruise, but he can play every game relatively well. They're my second favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. I have them ahead of every NFC team, and I have them over every AFC team except the Chiefs. That's how high I am on this team.
I agree.
But they've got like the 8th or 9th best odds for me because I think it's extremely implausible Tua's healthy for the season.
Yeah, if Tua's healthy, I agree. They're a Super Bowl contender for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably go with a fully healthy Tua, and if he continues his production when healthy, I'd probably go Chiefs, Bengals, probably Bills, Eagles, Dolphins.
Yeah, in the AFC, Jets, Bills, Dolphins is going to be amazing.
That's ridiculous.
I think I'd still put Buffalo and the Jets with Rodgers. Jets with Rodgers could really blow up, but I think I'd put them both a little ahead.
Thing that not enough people are paying attention to, it's highly likely one of those 3 teams misses the playoffs next year.
Yes, someone great in the AFC is going to miss the playoffs.
No one's talking about the Steelers.
I think next week we have a little Steelers sit down
you're the first team out. No Watt for half the year.
His impact is incredible.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
We were starting
He's the
Mitch
most
for
impactful non-quarterback in the NFL.
We were starting Mitch for 5 weeks before we brought in Pickett. No Watt, and we were 9-8 first team out. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
You should be. That defense is amazing.
Being 9-8 means
and
nothing.
you just need a little Kenny Pickett
first team out without your best player for half the year.
No, but the Steelers have a certain kind of magic where they just have to finish 500 or above every single year.
Do you know what our record was with TJ Watt? Was it 8-2?
No, but you're not factoring in the fact that the Steelers are literally last to finish above 900.
Yeah, no, I knew that. But I mean, without Pickett for the first 5 games, Watt out for 7 games. And we finished 9-8, first team out of the playoffs after starting 2-6. There's hope for next year.
Yeah, I love it.
1,000%.
I love it.
And I'm here for it.
There's the reel right there. We were going to do a reel yesterday, Ziggy, of Jack giving a little Steelers rant. That was it right there.
It's perfect, right?
Amazing. All right, guys.
I think we should only promote true things on this show, but that's just
we should only promote true things, but this show has a tendency of only promoting ridiculous stuff.
I think we're a playoff team.
Tua can't throw the deep ball.
So in the AFC, you're going to have. I'll count the Steelers. I think the Steelers are a good team.
I think they're a playoff team.
I don't know. Well, you got Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, 3. Jets, Bills, Dolphins, another 3. Chiefs, Chargers. Now you're at 8. And then the Broncos. I'm not putting them there yet, but Broncos could come back to life. And then you got someone from the South. That's 9 teams right there. It's gonna be tough.
Just hear me out. If the Steelers were to win the division. As we're probably second best team in that division. And if we were to win it, probably not. Bengals will probably win it. But if we win it, right?
You can't. You also can't just gift the division to the Bengals.
No, you can't.
Like we're all doing that.
You can't.
You really can't. You never know.
We played 2 good games with the Bengals. We beat them once. Let's look at the division, right? We get the 4 seed. And the Bills or Jets win the AFC East. And you got the Dolphins as the 5. Play that game in January in Pittsburgh. We're winning that game.
You got to win the division.
Yes.
I don't want to see you going into Kansas City
and
again
losing
as
by 40.
As the 7.
Yeah, and losing by 40.
It's
No.
no longer Heinz Field.
We need the division.
It doesn't have the same effect.
No,
I just got one question for you, Jack. Is Steelers to win the North plus 600 the best bet of the offseason?
I think so. Yeah, I think 6-1. I think that's great value.
What's the NFC North odds? Do you have those in front of you?
Yeah, you got Bengals plus 125.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
Ravens plus 250.
I'd go better than the Ravens.
Browns plus 350.
Outrageous.
Steelers plus 600.
That's the bet of the offseason, yes. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
What's the AFC East?
Wait. Yeah. Sorry, I said what was the NFC North? I'm greedy. I want the Vikings.
Hold on, we got AFC East first. This is more important. Bills plus 135.
Wouldn't touch that.
Jets plus 240.
I mean, they're telling you they're expecting Rodgers.
Yeah.
So.
Fins plus 300.
That's probably what I would touch.
Patriots plus 1,000.
I'm not touching the Pats.
I'd probably touch the Jets plus 240 in that.
in that
I
situation.
cannot trust Tua's health. Look at her, and that'll screw me. I'd probably take Aaron
All right.
Rodgers plus 240.
So NFC North, I hate all of these.
Lions are the
Lions
favorite.
plus 130.
Nope, not with a
No.
10-foot pole.
No.
Vikings plus 310. Bears plus 320. Packers plus 410.
Oh, that's what I'm hitting. The Packers plus
No.
410. Okay, I'm kidding.
Wait. What, I'm sorry. What was Detroit one more time?
Plus 130. They're heavy favorites. I
That's-
mean, they're more favored than the Bengals.
That's what I'd hit. I hit Detroit.
No, Detroit will do what Detroit does best, and that's lose.
Yeah, that division
Vikings
is
plus
so
310.
bad.
It's tough to see. I mean, that feels very pessimistic.
People are hating on the Vikings, and there's good reason. The 11-0 and one-score games regular season, everything like that. But this team, I really don't know if they've gotten worse this offseason. I don't think they have. They've brought in Davenport. They've brought in Murphy. They're going to get probably another defender in the draft who can start. They're bringing back. You have to remember Lewis Seen, our cornerback, and Andrew Booth, our safety, and Andrew Booth. They're both coming back this year. They didn't play at all really last season.
Oh, you need them.
No, well, I don't even know how good they are, truthfully, but the two of them will be back. So this Vikings team's getting an influx of new faces on defense with Brian Flores. The offense, I'm not too worried about. I think the offense is very good, but I don't really see this team regressing a lot.
I think the Lions are the best team in the division.
Sorry. I don't see the talent regressing. The wins for sure. But
If I were to make a bet on the NFC North winner at the odds they're all at, it would be Minnesota plus 10. Yeah.
I'm not following Detroit. I'm not following them anywhere.
Not at
with
those
my
odds.
money.
Not at those odds. Not at those odds.
No. The
But-
pride of Detroit.
If Detroit was plus 310, yeah, but not at 130.
After the draft, after free agency, after some offseason, all of this will be a little bit clearer, I think.
They'll start off 0-6 again, and people say they suck, and then they'll win a few games.
No,
and
I mean their offense is good.
they are good.
And
they
then they just brought in. They got Gardner John. They had two good corners.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
They haven't. I believe they have what pick do they have in the draft?
Defense will improve.
6. Where are they picking, Ziggy? Detroit?
The Lions, they're picking at 6.
6, right? Yeah.
I think 18.
Yeah.
6 and
It's tough
18, I
not to
believe.
see them being good.
I understand they have to be the favorite, but I just can't trust them.
Not at plus 130. No.
No, there's favorites and there's heavy favorites.
It's too bad you guys lost your first round pick, Zach. That would have been nice to have for the Dolphins. Okay, so I guess we can wrap with that. I think next week, Andrew brought this up. Hopefully Andrew will be here for our next recording. I believe that he threw out the big games in college football. Their spreads are out. So they've been out for a little while.
Touch up on that, of course.
Oh, so with these spreads out, there are a couple games. Oh,
Our next show could be 4 hours.
Andrew said that he had 2 games circled immediately. And one of the games he had circled, we cannot be on
One of the games we agree
opposite
with.
sides.
One
One
of the
we
games we
agree
agree with.
But one of them we cannot be on more opposite sides, and we have a very good reason to be against them. on that.
Probably a couple of the best reasons out there.
I mean, a couple of the best reasons you could think of. And
Yeah.
historically, we've shown that we're correct.
History's on our side.
Yes.
The date of the game is fantastic.
Yeah, date of the game. There's a lot that bodes well for us. So we'll break into that next week. So you'll be able to place your money on some futures bets, and really it's great. It's basically an investment, right? You're just throwing in like $20. You're gonna watch it go up in a couple months, and that's it. Then we'll give you another, and then we literally roll right into Jack's hardwood hammers.
Cap of the week, hardwood hammers. Yeah.
You're a few months away from making a lot of money again.
If you're having a
Best
hard
time of
time
year.
paying the bills, right? Your family's really depending on you to bring home that extra money. Just listen to Jack and bet all your money and do
Hang
what he
in there.
says.
Hang
It doesn't go
in
wrong for
there.
anyone.
Couple more months.
We're almost there.
Couple more months.
We're almost there. Just avoid baseball for a little bit, and
Yeah, avoid Andrew's lock.
yep, cap of the week, hardwood hammers. They're right around the corner. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Paul Farrington Show. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and really do. Please throw some comments out there and let us know.
We appreciate it.
Any questions you have, any comments. We'd love to address them on the show. Maybe some merch coming soon. There are murmurings. There are murmurings.
They're whispers.
Right after people are talking about Andrew undefeated season. Did you hear this? Paul Farrington Show merch coming out?
You have gear, yeah.
Maybe. So we'll see you next week.